Neversink Mountain Preserve. That's where we are today. This is the map. I can see it right there.
The trolley went across outside over this gap, and then it wound over the top there and went south.
Hello everybody, we're up in Redding today, or outside of Redding. We're going to be going Neversink Mountain with Cole here, Cole Swanger. I'll leave his information in the description. And he's going to basically show me some of the cool sites here, lots of ruins. Looks like it's pretty cool geology too. Strap in, hit subscribe, let's go. It would have been neat to come here when all these hotels, he was saying it was a popular destination. There were multiple hotels up on Neversink. They all kind of failed or burned down. We're gonna hit this really cool wine cellar / cold storage. That was Centennial Springs Hotel. That's where the wine cellar is. That's what really caught my eye when I was looking at his pictures. Yeah, this kind of looks like, I'd say, quartzite. Look at that outcrop. Holy shamoly. Here, this is Centennial, and then this was turned into a sanatorium for tuberculosis, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's another one up here called Dangler's Glen Hotel. They got these nice wood walkways. This looks like a foundation to a house.
Yeah.
So this is the foundation of Dangler's Hotel?
Yeah, I want to say it is, based on some of the maps that I've seen.
It's just a little thing.
Yeah, it's Dangler's, or sometimes referred to as Grafe's Hotel.
I can see a little bit of the wall over there. So there would have been horses, people riding in horses and carriages? Or
horses, carriages, the trolley, or just walking up and meandering, you know, the park that was here. Just nicely landscaped, rolling, grassy park.
And this is part of Dangler's too?
I want to say yes. That could have been part of the complex. And this could have been some sort of like a version of like a cellar, like a cold cellar, wine cellar kind of thing.
Yeah, these walls are still in pretty good condition. It looks like maybe a prairie, yeah. It's so quiet. Mm-hmm. So nice and peaceful. Oh, no, what's up here? A hotel? Oh, the spring house. I'm always up for a good spring house.
Nice.
Another small foundation. This is quite a bit higher up on the hill though. The last found the well was down there. Yeah, just a little structure. Here's another pit. This is another stone foundation, another small one.
Right.
It's still got water in it.
Yeah, normally it's probably another foot or so higher because of the drought and things like that.
Okay.
You know, it's a lot lower, but normally it's probably about a foot up, full of water.
So it's actually still
green usually because it's
slimy, yeah.
Stagnant. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's not being recycled.
Oh, I wonder if there used to be a fence here or something.
That's what I'm guessing.
Probably a chain link fence.
Yeah, I've not seen any pictures of this.
To keep people from falling in.
Yeah.
Okay, he was just saying that the area here, the people who own these resorts were not trying to bring people in from Redding. They were coming up from Philly. I guess maybe wealthier people would come up here. Mm-hmm. And they keep the locals down there in the ditches, right?
Right.
And they had those in York. They had them all over this Pennsylvania. They had these. Some of them were seasonal, like up by Wildcat Falls off the river. They had a whole. They had like a chestnut place. They had chestnut groves, and they had summer cabins, and people would come from Philly.
Yeah, draw the people out of the cities.
Businessmen, and they would spend the whole summer lounging, and then go back to the city. If you had the money to do it, you get the hell out of the city, because a city like Philly at the turn of the century in the summer, man, it would have been really hot.
Sweltering, smoky,
just dirty crime. Yeah. Right. So to come up to a place like this, even though today people like us from Pennsylvania, you don't think it's just a mountain. Back then, it was considered to be a beautiful retreat. I mean,
and it was.
Yeah. But you wouldn't have had that sound. You can just hear the highway, so that wouldn't have been there. Oh wow! Now is this a spring house?
That's my guess. Yeah.
Wow! Look at that construction. Holy my! A little bird's nest in here. It's pretty dry in here. That's a solid piece of structure there.
Yeah.
And what would you date this as? Like, what era do you think this is?
Or I would say early 1900s.
Early 1900s.
Yeah.
All right, we are at the wine cellar slash cold storage with the meat hooks or whatever. Maybe they hung garlic there. But when I saw Cole's video and pictures, I was just surprised at a cellar, root cellar, cold cellar, wine cellar this big. Most of the root cellars or cold storages we've done on this channel are just these little things. Whoa. Holy sh! Wow. I mean, the entrance is 10 feet across.
And imagine without this collapse here, probably from like, you know, up there and probably a retaining wall, the doorway would have been massive and would have given you more of a perspective on how big this is. You know, it's only until you kind of crouch down and look in.
Because all this fill was not here. He probably just walked right into it.
They probably had, you know, big, large wooden doors, you know, on it. You can see the hinges right here.
Yeah.
Where they would have,
Yeah.
they would have been bolted in.
Let me get my light out. All right, here we go into the wine cellar, which is crazy big. I mean, I was telling Cole, you know, it looks big in his pictures, but you come here, it's way bigger in person. It's a good scale shot. There's Cole in the corner there. It's got an arched ceiling. It's got to be like, what, 50, 60 feet long? 20, 25 feet high? I mean, and it's got these big hooks here. I wonder what they were for. Hanging stuff, or maybe pipe, maybe they carry pipes or something. You could put the bodies, I mean the meat up there.
Where any pipe would have been going in or out of here, outside of right there, which that probably would have been ventilation.
Like a ventilation, yeah.
This is like where pipes would have gone. So that's why people speculate, you know, meat hooks for.
I mean, you could have stored enormous amounts of whatever in here.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you just had wine in here,
Yeah.
you have an outrageous amount of wine.
So it is kind of caving in, but that kind of makes it look even better because you get light coming in there as well as the main entrance, which is half filled in with stuff sliding down the side. There's a little bit of graffiti, but not much. Not a lot. It's not distracting. And it definitely had a whitewash plaster coat. So this whole thing would have been smooth, bright white. Maybe they had, I wonder if they had electric in here. You could totally live in here. You had to. Right here you can see the plaster coat is still pretty good over here. So this will give you an idea of what it would look like finished. The floor is just rubble. Alrighty. That was even more impressive in real life than it was on camera. That's by far the biggest root cellar, wine cellar I've ever seen. And thanks to Cole, we get to see it, all right?
Cole Swanger.
Cole Swanger. I'll leave it in the thing there, but he's on Instagram and Facebook. And so make sure you go follow all that stuff. I will leave that in the description. Oh, there's a big piece of something there. That's a piece of the wall, huh? Probably that piece right there. it was mostly above ground. It's kind of built into the side of this hill. But I mean, that's, if I came across this thing just randomly, I would have seen it and, oh wow, it's a furnace. But no, it's just a massive old wine cellar. All right, let's continue on. Yeah, so the trolley line came up here. Wow, I mean, this is substantial. We're heading to the overlook and past on the way up here, and there's just a bunch of concrete leftovers from the trolley days and other stuff. You see that, stairs and concrete blocks, some metal. There's something down there. So now we're at kind of at the very top of the ridge, and this is still Neversink. Yeah, so this is the top of Neversink Mountain. We hit the outcrops here. It looks like there's a nice lookout right over there. Yeah. And this moss is just everywhere. It's frozen though. The moss is frozen. Yeah. It's pretty neat. All right, there's coal right there. And this whole outcrop, which I think is quartzite, comes down here. And then goes right. Whoa. All right, so we're at the top of this huge outcrop that we saw on the way up. There's a little bit of a drop there. All right, we have made it to the pier for the old trolley line that used to run up here. It used to come from the direction where coal is, right? And it ran here, and then here you can see the support pylons, whatever you want to call them. And there probably would have been a wood structure here, and then it went the whole way over there, and you can see it right there. So it would have been, and there's the big cliffs. We just came from up there. Must have been cool back when they did have the trolleys. You could just ride around the mountain. And there's all kinds of infrastructure. It looks like a camp spot right here, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we just came down this trail. This is the same stream we saw up on the mountain, right? And we're gonna go this underpass, which was built in 1926. And this is for walking, or is this for a stream when it gets overflown?
I think mainly for walking. There might have been a road at one point. The trail down here is wide enough. I think maybe for walking and maybe some overflow of the water.
So we're gonna pop out on the river. Nice. There's the river.
Almost kind of like an island.
That's an island right there?
Yeah, it's kind of like an island because the river does an S curve as it comes out of Redding. It does like this S curve.
Okay.
Around here and flows down through. So that would have been the railroad that existed back in the 20s and the 30s when all these hotels would have been here.
Right.
Would have been electric, and then they later converted it over to.
And the trolley line might have connected to the railroad at some point?
Yeah, I think further up there was a junction up there that it kind of like split off from.
All right, we're hunting for a culvert or something that we might think that a culvert that he spotted from down there while he was bushwhacking one day.
The outside.
I see the stone.
Yeah.
Why would there be a culvert there?
It's
10,
12 feet down.
And it looks like it's
Nothing
going
feeds into. I can see if it dropped down on the inside, went into the end of a pipe over there, and then flowed underneath. But
yeah, but I mean that's. I don't even think that's an ephemeral stream.
No.
Huh. Well, that's kind of intriguing. So how do we get down there? Whoa.
You could almost walk into that.
What? that construction. It's made out of, it's limestone. So, oh geez. Like how long has that stuff been there? This rock was brought here because this is not the bedrock unless it changes right here.
Stored things here for the railroad. Yeah, they wouldn't kept coal here because it was electric.
And it's constructed nicely. It's not just some ramshackle thing. These sleeping bags look pretty old. Like maybe like 80s,
Yeah.
the style. And there's some bottles there. It has a shark on it. So some kind of beer or something with shark. See, somebody was sleeping here, but but this is old. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
This is very nice. If you're ever down on the Schuylkill and you want some place to crash here, and there used to be a door, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
This wood timber is built into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think here? You got any ideas of what this looks like? Leave in the comments. I have no idea. Other than to say there probably was a door here at one time, maybe?
And it sits right below the railroad tracks.
Yeah. And it's not constructed of the bedrock here is not limestone. Somebody brought these rocks either down from the train or up from there. No. You've been down there though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you saw it looking up.
Yep.
It doesn't really smell. I mean, a little musty, but there you go. Good find. Maybe it's a place where one of the railroad workers would get off and spend the night or sleep here and then catch a different train, because it could be like just a temporary shelter for railroad workers. This thing is built like a bunker, we're saying. It just seems anomalous. It's just below the tracks though, which makes us think that it might be something to do with the railroad, but you can see some bedrock outcrops down there, but that looks like the same stuff the mountain's made of. So that makes me think that it was something to do with the railroad, because they were the only people that they have a train to bring out this much building material. They just dumped it off the train, built it for whatever reason. Unless it was a part of an old farm, but I don't think so. I think this whole slope here is somewhat artificial. And it's built into the ballast that's used, or whatever this is called, the ballast that's used for the bed to lay the tracks on. It's built into the ballast, not into the rock. So that makes me think it has something to do with the trains. Maybe something to do with the telegraph. We found an old telegraph pole there, so maybe they had some equipment that they couldn't just be outside, and they had to build a safe and secure place to house the equipment. And then once they cut down the telegraph lines, they came in here and scrapped all this metal, and then it just turned into a hermit, kind of a hermit cave shelter. Is there a hollow sound when you stomp on it? Maybe it has a wood floor.
Yeah, it's rock.
Okay.
It's almost like slate.
Iron bars that come out of the walls might have had something to do with what used to be in here. There's a shot for scale. There's the river. There's the bunker. And right up there is the old telegraph pole. So here's a cross piece, the old telegraph pole, and here's this insulator. Okay, I just came up with a theory here. Right there is a big cut. This would have been blasted too, and then right there they had to go through the mountain there. So what I was thinking was that might be a dynamite shack, or a place to store the dynamite while they're working on this project. And they could have come here, got some of it, and took it on the train. So maybe this was like a central location where they stored the dynamite, and that would explain why it's so thick and so, you know, and maybe those iron bars were shelving or something like that. like dynamite hole. I have an episode where I go in the dynamite hole. I'll put a link up to that. They would put their dynamite in a secure location so that if it randomly exploded, which it did sometimes, it wouldn't kill anybody and it wouldn't damage anything. It would just explode inside that little chamber. So, you know. And dynamite can't be just stored outside because then it gets wet. You got to be careful. So that's a possibility.